Hey there, welcome in. Today we're going to do a vinyasa flow that is going to focus on counteracting the effects of sitting. So this class will be kind of the opposite of sitting, where we sit, we're more engaged into the front of our body and kind of opening the back body. So for this class, we're going to open our front body, so opening our hips, opening our chest, engaging our back, and engaging our glutes, as well as some other stretches through like the backs of our legs. This is intended to be used after sitting for a prolonged period of time, or just because you want to. There's no right or wrong answer here. And one thing I do want to mention is if we do sit for a long time and we're on our computer or a phone or we're focused on something for a while, we will have mental fatigue, and be aware that mental fatigue can be misunderstood as physical fatigue. So if you've been sitting for a while and you're like, all I want to do is just go sit on the couch and watch TV, you actually may want to try to put on your shoes and get outside and get some fresh air and start walking. And you'll find most of the time that your body is going to thank you for that. And you're going to realize you had so much more energy than your mind was telling you you did. So yeah, just be aware that mental fatigue can be misunderstood as physical fatigue, as the same thing as it's the same thing as thirst being misunderstood as hunger. And so it's these little cues that we're going to become aware of over time once we become mindful of our body, the sensations, and what we've been doing in our environment that we create. So above all, just be mindful through this practice. If you need to modify any poses at any time, whether that means you do a more intense pose or a less intense pose, that's great. You are your best teacher, so listen to your body, listen to your breath, and let's get started. Well, before we get started, you may need 2 blocks, and you may there will be one particular stretch where we will be using 1 block. But if you don't have a block, no worries. You can always use a couple of books, or you can roll up a towel, or a pillow or a cushion can work as well. So just find what you have on hand and use that. And if you don't have it, or anything that around you that could be used in place of a block, that's fine. You could do those movements and stretches and exercises without anything. So just show up with what you have, with how you feel, and let's go from there. So we'll start seated. And why would we start a seated class sitting? But that is just to start to warm up in through our hip flexors, engaging through our core, finding that nice long spine, moving energy up and down the spine. So find a position that feels best for you right now. There's no right or wrong answer, just finding a comfortable seat where you can sit upright, and that may mean you're sitting on a block or a blanket or something, so your pelvis can tilt a little forward so you get the length in your spine. Once you find that position, take a deep breath in. Feel the expansion of your lungs going in 360 degrees. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Just a couple breaths here before we start moving. Deep breath in. Gentle pause at the top, clearing the mind. Then exhale, open mouth, let it go. Feel your shoulders relax. Core is slightly engaged here. Last breath together. Inhale. Feel the lift in your shoulders, the anchoring into your sit bones. Pause at the top. Open mouth, let it go. Blink your eyes open if you have them closed. Notice how a couple breaths already changes your mindset, changes your sensations in your body. And let's come to our back. So we're going to start in bridge, which I love so much. You're going to bring your hip distance apart, anchor your feet into the hands by your sides. And for today, we're going to push our elbows into the mat. And from here, you're going to tuck your tailbone under so your lower back pushes into the mat. We're starting to engage our core already, and then now push into your heels, lift your hips up, push your elbows into the mat, start to feel your shoulder blades moving towards one another. Again, slight tuck of your tailbone, or you can actually think pulling pelvis towards navel, and then your shoulder blades should be resting on the mat. Continue to engage your core, roll down one vertebrae at a time, pushing elbows down. Yeah, here we go. Inhale, lift, slight tug of the tailbone, engage core. So you're not coming in a big back bend, which is traditional or sometimes typical in a yoga class. We're actually doing a legit glute bridge where we're engaging into our glutes, push your elbows into the mat. Notice how it does lift your shoulder blades a little bit, but your shoulders are anchored into the mat. Engage core, tuck tailbone, roll down. We have 3 more like that. Engage core, push into heels, lift up, inhale. Push elbows down, feel your back already working here. Engage core, lower, down. 2 more. Push elbows down, engage core, lift up. Now this time you're going to push into the base of your big toes, and notice how your hips lift a little bit more and the inseam of your legs wakes up. That's what we're looking for. You may want to lift your toes off the mat to find that engagement. Push elbows down, engage core, lower, down. Last one, push elbows down, engage core, slight tuck of the tailbone, push up, push into the base of your big toes, elbows push down, core is engaged. So again, shoulder blades are going to be resting on the mat. We're not lifting up into a big back bend here. And release, lower down. So we're going to bring our legs into tabletop position, flex your feet, arms reach up, inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your arms so they come down parallel to the mat. Your shoulders are lifting off the mat. Knees are over your hips, so you don't want to bring your knees in way far here. Bring it away. You want core engagement. Lower back is pushing in. Breathe. So reach arms forward. So stabilizing through our core. This will help to keep our spine protected. Breath here. Releasing any tension. And then feet come down, hands come down, bring your knees into your chest. Maybe bring your knees side to side or in figure eights. Just allowing your back body to connect with the earth. One more breath. And then we're going to rock and roll to a seated position. So hands behind your thighs, start to rock and roll. Again, we're engaging through our core here, maybe without even knowing it. This is a good way to wake up our core and fill in through our spine. And then when you're ready, coming up to seated, and then coming to plank pose. All right, hands underneath your shoulders. You can walk your knees back, engage your glutes, lift up through your core like we did in bridge, and then push into your hands, lift your chest away. You can keep knees down or knees lift. If knees are lifted, you're lifting the back of your kneecaps up towards the sky. Again, engaging glutes to support you in this position, and then push back into your heels, feel the stretch into your calves. Stay here in a static position, or you're going to lower your chest down and lift up for scapular push-ups. Lower down, lift up, lower down, lift up, and down, and up. 2 more. Lift up, feeling your shoulder blades move away from one another. Last one, pause here, hinge forward, elbows squeeze in, lower for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Untuck your toes, lift your chest, squeeze elbows in, and really think about squeezing your shoulder blades towards one another. If you'd like, you can bring your chest a little lower than a full cobra position. Bring your hands off the mat and then lift hands towards your shoulders and squeeze elbows in. So you'll start to feel your upper back working a little bit more. Push the tops of your feet into the mat, legs engage, squeeze into your glutes, and gently release. Next, inhale, squeeze elbows in, inhale, lift, maybe a baby cobra or full cobra, squeezing elbows in. If you're ready, an up dog is an option. If you're ready, listening to your body first. So if you're in baby cobra or wherever you are, squeeze shoulder blades towards one another and shoulder blades down your back. Gentle tuck of your chin. Deep breath in. And slow breath out, lower down. Tuck your tailbone, or excuse me, tuck your toes under, push into your hands, squeeze elbows in, lift up to plank, and then sit back, downward facing dog. Whew. Breathing here. Bend into one knee and then the other. Finding gentle movement in through your core, in through your legs. Letting your head hang heavy. Bringing your bicep towards your ears, creating space between your biceps and your ears by rotating your arms in. 2 more breaths. Find stillness here. Deep breath in, bend your knees. As you exhale, push your hips up and back away from the top of the mat. Keep your knees bent or start to straighten them a little bit, keeping the length in your spine. Next, inhale, look forward to the top of your mat. Exhale, bend your knees a lot, sit back like a prowler pose, and then step or walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Inner thighs rotate in and back. Pull chest forward, shoulder blades down your back. And exhale, fold it in. 2 more. Inhale, halfway lift. Inner thighs rotate in and back, shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, fold in. Last one here. Inhale, halfway lift. Taking your belly away from your thighs. And then exhale, fold it in. Bend into your knees a lot. Keep a flat spine. Inhale, we rise. Arms sweep wide and high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Finding Tadasana here. Hands by your sides. Engage your quads so kneecaps lift. Shoulders up and back. And bringing the crown of your head up towards the sky. Here we go. Inhale, arms out and up. Maybe look up. Exhale, dive forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Remember, belly away from thighs. Exhale, plant your hands, step back or jump back. Chaturanga, squeeze elbows in, lower down. Inhale into baby cobra, cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, engage your quads so your kneecaps lift just like in Tadasana. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Notice your breath. Notice the shape of your body. Noticing any sensations. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold in. Root down, rise up. And then exhale, right back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back or jump back. If you're stepping back, try stepping back with the opposite foot. Squeeze elbows in, lower down. Find Chaturanga pause, it is a pose. Inhale into your back bend. Engage legs, slight engagement in through your glutes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Connecting to your breath. Feel your foundation. Push into the base of your big toes. Internally rotate through your thighs, so inner thighs rotate back behind you, and push into the base of your index fingers. Nice long fluid breath. Next breath in, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step, hop, walk to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Root down, rise up, push into your heels as you rise, so you use the backs of your legs a little bit more. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, Chaturanga, step back or jump back. Pausing in Chaturanga, engage your legs. Inhale into your back bend, finding that pull of your chest forward as your shoulder blades go back and down. And exhale, downward facing dog. As always, connect to your foundation, make sure that is solid and secure, and then start making adjustments into your legs and arms and your core. From here, inhale, right leg up and back, flex your foot, really engage through your right glute. Exhale, let your left heel come to the ground, keep right leg lifted. Inhale, lift right leg a little bit more, squeezing glute, and exhale, right knee to your chest, hinge forward, step your foot between your hands. From here, either blocks underneath your hands or just hands down to the mat, maybe pinch your fingers and come up onto your fingertips. Engage your left leg, engage left glute. So engaging into left glute so we get that opening into the left hip flexor. Pull chest forward, and then your right hip's going to want to stick out to the right. We're going to bring it underneath us by squeezing our hips towards one another. Stay here or start to bend into left knee a little bit, push into left foot, and then inhale, we rise, crescent lunge. So for today, we're really going to bend into our back knee and then engage left glute. You'll feel big stretch into the front of the left hip flexor, arms up. Inhale. And again, right hip's going to want to stick out. Just bring it underneath you. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. Maybe shoulders go back a little bit so you feel more weight into your back leg. Engage left glute. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Flow through vinyasa or skip. Maybe Ekapada Chaturanga Dandasana with the right leg lifted. Once in downward dog, inhale, left leg up and back. And then when you're going to exhale, bring your right heel down to mat, feeling the stretch in through the calf. Inhale, lift left leg a little bit more, squeeze glute. And exhale, left knee to your chest. Foot comes through. And again, blocks underneath your hands is a great option. Engage through right leg, squeeze right glute, and then bring your left hip underneath you. So our body's going to want to go to the path of least resistance, which is going to be easier for the body, but we want our body in a certain position so it works certain areas. From here, either stay low and keeping the engagement back leg, keeping left hip underneath you, or start to bend into right knee and rise up, crescent lunge. So this side, we're going to bend into right knee, engage right glute, and then bring left hip underneath us. Maybe shoulders come back a little bit to help us to put more weight into our back leg. Our front leg should not be doing all the work. Last breath here, inhale. And exhale, hands down to the mat, find your vinyasa. Inhaling, opening your chest. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the front. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, inner thighs rotate in and back. And exhale, fold it in. Root down into your feet. Let's rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, dive forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga or straight to down dog. Finding what works for you. Inhale into your back bend if you're going through the vinyasa. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to your chest, hinge forward, step it through, and bring right knee down to the mat. Untuck your toes here. Inhale, we rise, Anjaneyasana. So same thing, engage right glute, bring left hip underneath you. You'll notice your left knee will open a little bit, and that's good. We want it right over your ankle, arms overhead. Find your breath. So engaging into right glute is going to help to open up the front of the hip. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, hands down to the mat, toe heel left, foot over to the left side of the mat. Stay here for a lizard's pose. I hope you're enjoying my neighbor's music right now because it's awesome. Or if you want a different position, you're gonna bend into right knee and then grab back with your left hand, or maybe use a strap or a belt or something to grab onto your back foot. Breathe here. Engage right glute, open chest. And gently release right foot, toe heel left foot in, lift up, push into your hands, and then you're just gonna lift your left foot up so your left knee comes to your left tricep, and then extend it back, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. Second side, inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to chest, hinge forward, step it through. Left knee comes down. We untuck our back foot and then rise up, Anjaneyasana. So on this side, left glute engages. You can also push left foot into the mat. That's gonna wake up your left quad. And then right hip comes underneath you. Again, helping to find that alignment into the right knee. Breathe in and breathe out. So this is an active stretch. So we are working in through the hip so we can stretch through the front of the hip. Last breath. And then exhale, hands down to the mat, toe heel right foot out to the right. Stay here in lizards, or you're gonna bend into left knee. Take your right hand behind you, grab your foot and open here. Remember, you can take a strap or any sort of clothing article that can fit around your foot so you can grab on here. Gentle engagement through left glute here. Open chest. And then gently release. Toe heel right foot in towards center. Lift your left knee, and then again, lifting right foot so your right knee is now touching your tricep. Extend back, chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, look forward. Exhale, travel to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it in. Root down into your feet. Let's rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. All right, so we're going into a forward fold with it opening in through our chest in a rotation. So you may want a block underneath you, and I will demonstrate with the block. So you can have it on any setting, either low, medium, or high. All right, feet about hip socket distance apart. You can also take two fists, put it between your feet, and that can help you to measure the distance of where your feet should be. All right, from here, clasp your hands and open your chest. So when we're doing this, you want to gently engage your glutes and push your hips forward so you protect your lower back. From here, start to bend into your knees, pull your chest forward, hinge from your hips, and then straighten your legs, arms come back behind you. All right, so if having your hands behind you is not an option today, you can have your hands straight back in more of like a airplane position, or you can bring your hands down for this next heart opener. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate first with hands clasped, and then I'm going to give the example without. From here, you're going to bend into right knee, straighten left leg, and then bring right shoulder towards right thigh, opening on the left side. Now, if you don't have the clasp of your hands, you're still going to bend into right knee. Right hand comes down to the ground and left arm reaches up. You can also bring back of your hand to your lower back. That's an option. So finding the position that works best for you. 2 more breaths. And then find neutral here. And then bend into left knee, straighten right leg, and bring your hands over towards the left, bringing left shoulder to left thigh. And again, if you don't have your hands clasped, bring left hand down, bend left knee, lift right arm up. And then right hand could go behind your back as well. All options are excellent. Always listening to your body first. Maybe you've been able to do this position before and today it's not working, and that's fine. You'll be able to come back to it. Just not today. Letting go of any expectations and just allowing yourself to be fluid with your breath. And then come back to neutral. Bring your hands to your lower back. Inhale, halfway lift. And And exhale, plant your hands, step back or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale into back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Extend through your right heel, toes point down, internally rotate through your thigh. And exhale, bring your knee to your chest, hinge forward into plank, and then step your foot between your hands. Bend into your back knee. Ooh, let's rise up, crescent lunge. So rising to crescent is actually a pretty wobbly balancing position. So notice if you are finding your balance as you rise. And once you come up, squeeze your hips towards one another. Engage through your left glute. Inhale. Exhale, right arm back, left arm forward. Look to the right. And then you're going to bring right hand to right hip and lift left arm up. Finding a back bend, but we're going to push our right hip forward. So keeping right hip underneath you. Push that hip forward. And then if it feels okay in your lower back, you're going to bring your right hand to your left leg. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale into your open arm twist. Hold here. Exhale. Sink a little deeper. Engage left glute. Inhale, crescent lunge. Look forward. And then hands to your hips. You're going to step your left foot forward a little bit. Finding either a heel to heel alignment or on train tracks here. Ooh, the ice cream truck is in the neighborhood. All right, hope you guys can hear that. From here, you're gonna either clasp your hands behind your back, which is gonna be my suggestion for today, or you're gonna grab opposite elbows or find a reverse namaskar with your hands in prayer, or hands at your hips. That's a great option too. So whatever you decide, find that position with your hands. Both legs are straight. Squeeze your hips in towards one another and push the left hip forward so you're square to the front. Inhale, look up. Push left hip forward. And then exhale, start to hinge forward over your right leg, finding pyramid pose. So arms can come back behind you if that's not in your practice. Totally fine. Remember, hands at your hips. You can also grab your hands behind your back and rest it on your lower back, or hands down to the mat, or blocks. Breathe in. And as you exhale, rotate your right hip back, left hip forward. 2 more breaths. Allow your head to hang heavy. And then we're going to rise up. So bring your hands to your hips. Rise and step left foot forward. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, dive forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. We're coming to side plank. So you're going to bring your feet together at the back of the mat. Right hand stays down. Rotate to the pinky toe edge of right foot. And then lift left arm up. Again, engaging through your glutes. Oops, sorry. Opening your chest, top arm reaches up. Lift your hips up towards the sky. And then if you can, look up towards your hands, adding a balance challenge. Coming to wild thing, lift left leg up and slowly step it behind you. Squeeze your hips towards one another, engage in through your right glute, engage in through left glute, and lift hips up. Back to side plank, keep hips high, and then plank pose, finding core stability here, or stabilization, and then hips up and away, downward facing dog. Now we're going to jump to Malasana or walk to Malasana. If you want to do the jump challenge, inhale, look forward, bend your knees, and you're going to jump so your feet land to outside of your hands. And jump. Hips come down, chest is high. This is a good release in the lower back. We've been opening a lot through our hips, so it's just a good counterbalance pose. Elbows into your knees, opening here. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bring your hands behind you and then go ahead and sit down. Feet are gonna be hip width apart, just like we did for bridge. We're gonna do a reverse tabletop. You can do bridge if reverse tabletop is not in your practice. Totally great option. So hands are gonna come behind you, fingers point towards your hips, push into your heels, lift your hips up. So you may need to adjust here and then squeeze glutes. That's all we're doing today, is squeezing glutes all over the place. And then if you'd like, head comes back. Bring your shoulders out and back towards the outer corners of your mat. Push into the base of your big toes. Engage glutes. One more breath. And then slowly lowering your hips. And we're gonna make our way to downward dog. So just an easy, quick transition with your legs swinging around, hands plant down. You can do a vinyasa if that's calling you. Some cat-cows may feel good too. So finding what works for you. All right, second side. Inhale, left leg up and back, squeeze through your glutes, toes point down. And exhale, knee to your chest, hinge forward, step it through, bend back knee, rise up. Crescent lunge. So squeezing hips in, back knee can be bent. I actually personally like that version because I'm able to get my pelvis in place by squeezing my right glute, opening the right hip, arms up. Maybe shoulders come back a little bit, more weight in back leg. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath. And we twist here. Exhale, left arm back, right arm forward, look to the left. You should already feel a stretch in through your right hip flexor. And then left hand to left hip, reach right arm up. Exalted warrior, sit down into your hips a little bit more, keeping left hip pushing in. And you can push into left hip with your left hand, or left hand comes to right thigh. Right leg. Next inhale, open up here, hold for your exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to your hips, step right foot forward for pyramid pose. So both toes should be facing somewhat forward. Your back foot will be open about 45 degrees, like a warrior one back foot position. Clasp your hands behind your back. Do awkward clasp. So if you typically have right thumb on top, you're gonna switch and put left thumb on top. Right? Inhale, open here. Both legs are straight. Push right hip forward, engage right glute. And then exhale, you're gonna pull your chest forward as your chest comes down towards the ground or towards your leg. Arms can go back behind you. And remember, you can have hands on hips, grabbing opposite elbows, or reverse prayer here as well. Breathing, squeeze your hips towards one another. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, rotate right hip forward, left hip back. Pull chest down. One more breath. And then at the base of your exhale, bring your hands to your lower back. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, we step forward. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, dive forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands come down, step back to plank. And you're welcome to flow through vinyasa. We are going to go to side plank though. So from here, keep left hand down. Bring feet together at the back of the mat. Rotate to pinky toe edge of left foot. Lift right arm up. More of a challenge, look up at your right hand. And then lift your hips up towards the ceiling or sky. Find your breath. Moving to wild thing, lift right leg up. And then step it behind you. Squeezing both glutes here and opening through the front of your hips. Maybe bringing knees towards one another a little bit. Making our way back to side plank. A little core stabilization here. Squeeze and then plank pose. Find plank. Inhale. Then exhale, downward facing dog. This time we're going to jump to, or just like last time, we're going to jump to Malasana. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. And jump or step over to the mat. Malasana. You're welcome to play with crow. We will be here for about 3 breaths. You can also, I should have said this last time, but sit on a block. So nice. All right, so finding what works for you. Elbows in to your inner knees, hands together, opening up your hips here. Connecting to your breath. If you're playing with crow, go ahead and come back to Malasana. And then everybody, hands come back behind you, hips come down, coming back to reverse tabletop. Remember, bridge is an option as well if there isn't the flexibility in your shoulders today. So feet come to hip distance, hands behind you, fingers point towards your hips, and then as you inhale, lift into reverse tabletop. If you'd like to follow me with a little bit more of a challenge, start to toe heel your left foot in just a couple inches, and then you can lift right leg up, lift in through left hip. Maybe right leg is straight. I am not there today. Right foot comes down, toe heel it in towards middle, lift left leg and push into right foot, engage right glute. Maybe again, leg is straight. Foot comes down, lift into your hips a little bit more. Maybe head rotates back. Now if that hurts in through your neck, you can always have a tuck of your chin looking down towards your knees. Make sure your knees are hip distance apart. Squeeze your glutes, lift hips a little bit more. And then gently lowering down. From here, swing hips or swing legs around. Hands come down. And we'll do a chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do 3 breaths in downward dog just to find some stillness. Maybe connecting back to why you came to your mat today. Or just maybe feeling into the sensations that are arising in this moment. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to be aware. No way to force it. Just let it be. At the base of your next exhale, look forward. Jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Root down, let's rise up. Then exhale, hands to your heart. All right, let's do dancer pose. So we're gonna keep left foot down. Bring left hand to left hip, just to kind of stabilize and make sure your left hip isn't sticking out. Bring it underneath you. Engage left glute. And then you're going to bend into your right knee, grab to the inside of your right foot. So your thumb should be pointing up. You can stay here and just work on engaging right glute, or you can follow me. Left arm reaches up. Start to kick until right hand. Keeping chest lifted, and then once you can't kick into your hand anymore, then you rotate forward. Try not to think of ice cream, because the ice cream truck is going by. Stay focused on your breath. Such a good opportunity to find mindfulness and concentration. Breathe and squeeze your hips in towards one another. And then slowly reverse it out. And gently release right foot. I think you all know where my mind is right now. All right, keep right leg planted. Right hand onto right hip, and then make sure your right hip is underneath you and not sticking out to the right, because it's going to want to do that because it's the path of least resistance for the body. But we want to use our muscles to help support us. So we keep our hip underneath us. And from here, bend into left knee, grab left foot. So remember, thumb is pointing up here. You can stay here. You can bring right arm up, or you can start to kick into your left hand and hinge forward. Once you can't kick anymore, then you again start to hinge forward. So big opening in through your shoulder and through your hip. Keep your right hip underneath you, squeeze in through right glute. Breathing, focusing on your body and your breath. And then slowly start to reverse your way out. Whew. Shake it out. Inhale, arms out. Now, squeeze through your glutes. Exhale, gold. Push your arms, push your chest forward, push hips forward. Inhale, reach up, maybe look up. Exhale, dive forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands, bend your knees, come to seated position. We just have 3 more different stretches before we come to Shavasana. Whew, okay, so we're gonna come to our backs. This is where we're gonna use a block. You're gonna place the block underneath your sacrum, which is the bottom part of your spine. Excuse me. So, if this doesn't feel good at any time, you're just gonna release the block or whatever pillow or books you have underneath you. So we're gonna walk our feet forward and allow our feet just to relax here, and you'll feel a stretch in through the front of your hip flexors. Feet can be up, that's a little bit more work, but it will kind of get into the hips a little bit differently. So just find what works for you. You're gonna either stay here or you're gonna bring your right knee in. So this is kind of like this test you can do. It's called the Thomas test. You can look it up, and it's going to tell you how tight your hip flexors are by when you bring your right knee in, how much your left leg has to lift. Mine lifts a little bit, so it's showing I have tighter hip flexors than is probably appropriate. So just notice what happens for you, and remember, no judgment, just allowing yourself to observe your body. And this awareness from the observing that we are able to make change. So we allow ourselves just to be as we are in the moment, so then we can better serve ourselves. So squeezing right knee in. Gently release right foot down, extend right leg out, bring left foot down to the mat, and then left knee in, squeezing your leg in. And you'll notice maybe one side is a little tighter than the other. Well, that's okay. Again, just noticing, just observing. I apologize for all the noises today. Can't plan this stuff. Notice your breath. Notice the back of your body on the mat. And gently releasing left foot down to the mat. So we're going to lift our hips up, remove the block. And from there, we're going to bring our feet as wide as the mat. And from there, just moving any props out of the way that may be there. Flossing through our hips, moving through the hip joint. It's very good for the hips to move in all directions. Maybe not all directions, but the direction it's meant. And next time your knees are over to the left, you're going to just allow your legs to drape in that direction. All right, you're going to notice your right leg, your right hip is going to be a little bit more into a stretch here than your normal twist. So you can stay here. If this doesn't feel good, you're going to stack your knees, go to a traditional supine twist. Or if you want to open the hip a little bit more, you're going to take your right foot and toe heel it over to the right. And you may need to look up. You want your knee to be in line with your hip socket. And then you'll feel a stretch from your hip flexors down into your quads here. And just allow yourself to relax. Right arm could be out to the right. If this doesn't feel good on your knee, you can place a block underneath there. And then if you want more intensity in this position, you're going to take your left ankle onto your right thigh. Only if that feels okay and safe in your body. If you toe-heeled your foot over to the right, start to walk it back onto the mat. Engage your core, legs back to neutral. And then reset your hips so they're center and in a neutral position, and your feet are, again, at the edges of the mat. And then for your legs side to side. Side to side. Next time your knees are over to the right, go ahead and drape them in that direction. Just let them fall over. You can put a pillow underneath your knees. You can stack your knees. You can keep them just as they are. Oh, this chat is getting louder as it's already passed. That's so crazy. You can toe your left foot over to the left. Left leg, or for more intensity, taking your right ankle onto your left thigh. Remember, we don't always have to go towards the most intense version of the pose. And then take a couple deep breaths here. Maybe feeling your breath go into your hips, feeling the expansion throughout your body. Oh no, I'm going to warn you, another jet is coming, I think. Oh. Allowing whatever is in our environment to be as it is, using it as an opportunity to stay focused. And then toe heel back onto the mat. And bring your knees back to neutral. Feet together, knees out wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. So bringing your feet further away from your body will allow for less intensity. Bringing your feet towards your body is going to bring more intensity. Just noticing what's best for you. Being authentic with your true self. And then once you find the position, go ahead and take a breath in. Open your mouth, breath out. Breath in. Breath out. I'm going to suggest this position for Shavasana today. However, if you want any other position, you're welcome to take yourself there. Maybe legs long, arms long by your sides. Maybe feet on the mat, knees come in towards center. Wherever you end up, just allow yourself to be right where you are, because you're right where you need to be. Having a passive attitude, allowing your environment and your mind and your body to be just as it is without having to control or change anything. On your next inhale, feel your breath go all the way down into your hips. Feeling your chest expand. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Feeling your back body get just a little bit heavier. Breath in. Breath out. Another breath together. Inhale. And exhale. Just allowing your whole body to surrender. You can release the control of your breath or just stay focused on the fluid motion of your breath. Allowing any thoughts to pop up, and without judgment, just letting them float on by like a puffy cloud or roll on by like colored balls or maybe colored balloons just floating in the air. Really into your jaw. Heavy. Releasing any facial expressions. Enjoying this moment you create for yourself. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. If you're ready to start moving with me, you're just going to grab onto the outer hips, outer thighs, bring them towards neutral. Maybe bringing your knees together, feet wide, to counteract that front hip opener and to allow for an opening in the back of your hips into your sacrum. Maybe rocking head side to side. Wringing out through your wrists and ankles, or moving through your arms, maybe windshield wiping your legs again. Rolling yourself to one side, using your bottom arm as a pillow to just relax here. Take a moment and acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge your body for what it does for you without you even having to think about it. Being grateful for loving yourself like only you can do. Stay here as long as you'd like, or use your top hand to push into the ground. Lift yourself up. Find a comfortable seat. Spine is long, pelvis is slightly tilted forward, hands to your heart, gently pressing each hand into one another, creating balance throughout your whole body. Slight tuck of your chin in honor of this practice. Deep breath in. Open mouth, breath out. One more breath together. Inhale. Gentle pause at the top, taking a little bit more air. Pause. Pierce your lips, sip in air through your mouth. And pause, bring your shoulder blades down your back. And open your mouth, exhale, let it go. It is such an honor to be able to guide you through your practice. Thank you for trusting me with your practice. Namaste. Bye, everybody. Hope you have a great day. See you next time.